Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hey, it's Icarice, and I'm here to tell you about Hotcast for Podcasting. We are a podcasting studio located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Hot 702.5 FM studios. You can book online at hot7025fm.com. Just click on Hotcast. You can book and find your times right there. Thank you for booking with Hotcast for Podcasting.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Wednesday as we do so well. It's another beautiful week. And man, let me start by saying this. Before I get into anything, I'm going to start by apologizing. Because there's going to be some things I'll talk about today. Some people may take, I don't know how you'll take it, actually. Some people might run with it and take it how I say it. Some may be offended, some may not. Some may appreciate it, but I will say I still got to say it. So for anybody that may have anything to say about what I say today, call me, talk about it. If you don't know my number, that means you'll know me well enough to talk about it. No, I'm joking. You can reach out to me through social media as well. First of all, let's start it off like we normally do, our weekend review. Happy Wednesday again. I'll see y'all every Wednesday, try to do my best to. First thing, with this week is, man, my coworker with the other job called me 2 jobs shawty, which I'm like, yeah, it's them 2 jobs is woo. So my schedule now is mornings at one and I close at the other one, except for Friday, Saturday. I'm at Kiss all day long from open to close. But with the whole 2 jobs, man, my schedule is I only have Sundays off. So, they always say, when do you rest? And honestly, Monday nights, Sunday nights, I guess I can rest a little bit. Sundays I can't rest because it's football Sunday. So me and the kids, we all like to watch football together, hang out, try to make videos and try to play the game and play with each other. It's like a family day for me. I don't really do anything on Sundays. I don't leave the house because typically I try to save that day just for my children. You know what I mean? They got to get the best of me. And on Sundays, I'm well rested that they can get every part of me that they need. So that's a pretty good one. But, I won't lie and say that these 2 jobs, they are not, I don't want to say tiring because I have the energy to get through work each day. It's not the problem at all. It's just like in this society, man, if you want to have a family and you want to be successful, you got to work a couple of jobs, have a couple of businesses on the side, you always got to be in the next thing. You got to be doing the next thing to be able to provide. And in my eyes, the jobs are the income that at least takes care of the bills. So anything outside of bills, I'm not really worried about. Funny thing, speaking of bills, so we had a little side joke here. Customer came into my job and he's a Bills fan. So he was talking about the whole football season and how he's been fighting his whole life for the Bills to just win a Super Bowl for him. And I'm like, man, you complain about fighting the Bills and I do it every day, every month. He got it right away because, we got to pay bills every single month. But it was just funny to have that joke in between. But in all seriousness, all jokes aside, you really got to make sure that home is taken care of. A lot of y'all like to run from responsibility and you want everybody else to take care of your bills for you and do this and pay that for you and pay this for you. And I'm sorry, I've never been the one for a handout. I've never been able to let a woman provide for me. And it's nothing against it, nothing bad. It's just as a man, I have a different perspective on what needs to be done in the household. And part of that is me actually making sure that my household is taken care of and financially stable. Now I'm not saying that, if 4 years down the road, I ended up losing my job and Diamond picked up a job and started taking care of bills to help out, that I turn it down. I'm not saying that at all. Because, it's all about teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. What I am saying is, though, if you're able and willing to work and you can go get a job, you can go sign up for one, or you can go get a couple different jobs. there is no way you should be relying on a woman to provide for you and your lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's different when you have a partner where, you know, y'all treating each other, you know, gift for date for date, or whatever the case may be. Y'all are helping each other. You building a team doing it that way. But some of y'all are out here really just relying on one or the other, whether you're a man or woman, relying on the other one to take care of you and pay your bills. Like, hey, if you married, I mean, let me stay out your business, because whatever you and your wife or husband got going on, that ain't none of my concern. You know what I mean? That ain't none of my concern. But for all of y'all playing the boyfriend and girlfriend role, which is really, if you really think about it, the girlfriend and boyfriend role is like, it doesn't exist. Honestly, it doesn't exist. It's a title we use for, you know, for something y'all used to date at the time until you actually get married. But when you look at it, even the Bible itself says, until you're married, you're single. So, hey, but if you're out here in that pretend stage, or you're the boyfriend girlfriend stage, and you want them to take care of you all the way, it's just like, what are we doing here? Y'all have rules, boundaries established, and that don't look like that's one of them. You know what I mean? I can't get over it. I mean, I understand there's somebody for everybody, and some women love taking care of a man, versus just like some men love taking care of a woman. But I'm just a traditional guy, man. I want to be the provider. I want to be the provider for the household. You know, that's why I work the two jobs, because I got to make sure I am that provider. So if anything falls down or falls back, it comes to me. You know, I make those decisions. I make that. Now, I like to tell people here on this one, um, I don't say that to make it seem like my wife can't say anything or give me any advice on certain decisions we make in the household. That is never the case, because there are some things, like when it comes to the kids at school, with school, she's a little more involved, because, you know, she does drop off or pick up, and I can do it some days, but I can probably drop off some days, but pickups are kind of non-existent now that I work two jobs. We used to do the sharing where one pick up, one drop off, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. Um, but now that I work in the mornings, and then I go from one job to the next, literally Monday, I go after this job, I go home. Tuesday, after this job, I go to the next job, and I'm there till 11. Wednesday, Thursday, same thing. I'm from this job to the next job, I'm there till 11. Friday, I'm at the other job from 11 to midnight, and same thing Saturday. So I'm there from open to close. So ultimately, when it comes to the school week, like, I can probably drop off, but anything other than that, like, I'm SOL. So with it being with school, their mom is more involved with stuff like that, and if there's advice, and I'm saying, well, you know, hey, they called me about the kids. Um, this is going on these couple of days for the school. What do you think is the best option to go for? You know, like, and that may be a small example. Well, I think it's big, because my kid's education is important. But that's just an example to show. Sometimes I will have to reach out to her and be like, hey, what do you think we should do about this? Because this is what's going on. This is the kind of the game plan I have, but this is kind of what it's looking like. So, you know, what do you really want to do about it, since you got more expertise in this line of work or in this field? But there are some things where sometimes I give my input on it, and I just go ahead and leave it alone, because I can trust her enough to make the right decision about it. And then there are a lot of things where it's the same way. I have to make decisions, and it's not like I'm not ignoring what you may want, but it's not about what you want. It's about what we need at the moment, not about what we want. You know, wants and needs are two different things, which I wish some of y'all got that in y'all mind too, to know what y'all want versus what y'all need. Because a lot of y'all out here bragging about what you want, claiming that that's what you need, and that's not it at all. That's not it at all, in no way, shape, or form. But again, you know, I won't really talk about too much of that. One of my coworkers brought up something to me. We have this conversation about accountability all the time, and we know that accountability is rare with some women versus, you know, um, and some men versus the majority of the like. Um, and we say that because, you know, there are just some things. Basically, again, this is not every woman. I don't want every woman to take offense to this, right? It's not every woman. But there are some women out there that don't know what accountability is if you hit them right in the face. And we have these conversations in the past about, you know, whether it's exes he's dated or people he's around. He sent me a quote, and it says, I think it was a joke, which I'm thinking it was a joke. And the joke stated, let me make sure I say it right, because I thought it was funny at first, but at the same time, it kind of makes a point. But it's like, yikes, that's going to start an argument. You know what I mean? It's going to start an argument real fast. So it goes, scientists have discovered that the fastest moving object in the universe is a woman running from accountability. And again, this is not all women, because we have some women that do great at accountability and understand what it is. Up and through the first letter to the last letter, they understand accountability down to the T. But he sent me that, and I seen it was a joke, but I told him, like, even though it may be funny, like, that's a true statement. It's just like, dang, it's kind of crazy that you look at it that way. But also told him, like, it's also about how some people come at these women. Because what I've learned recently when it comes to accountability in women, if you position it in a way where you're trying to show them that you want them to learn and grow, instead of trying to make it seem like accountability is an "I told you so" moment, or "I got you" or "aha" moment, I think it correlates better with them, and it's easier for them to understand what you're trying to get them to see. Um, for example, I started where, instead of me coming off in this you, which you should never use, you and I statements, always we. I started with this whole thing like, well, we want to get to this place in our relationship. And if we want to get there, this is the route that we need to take. So, to get it done, there are some things that on my end has to be done, on your end has to be done, but we can't do them without the help of each other. And I'll be honest, like, I get more positive feedback from going at it that way than actually sitting here just trying to come off as a you kind of thing. It's kind of crazy. And I'm not perfect at it yet. I'm still working on it. I'm still growing, and I'm still learning every day on how to approach it in a better way. But I've been learning that works. That's a lot better than me just sitting there pointing the finger like, well, I'm tired of telling you what you need to do to make me happy, or I'm tired of telling you what you need to do to get this done. Like, it comes off as an attack to the other person. And when you come together to a point of understanding where it's like, I want us to grow and be better together, right? That's all I'm looking for. And if we can be better together, then we don't have to worry about the outside noises, the nonsense, the hoorays and hoo-ha's, whatever you want to call it. We don't have to worry about the distractions. So, just a little piece of advice. Maybe if we change up the verbiage on how we talk to these women when it comes to accountability, or getting them to understand what they did wrong or what the issues are, maybe if we take ourselves out of it and talk to them as a unit, even though we're probably mad at the moment, we're still a unit, right? So we talk to them as a unit to get that growth and development. And I mean, it's been working for me. I'm not sure if it'll work for everyone else, but I would at least try it, because you never know. You never know. Another thing, well, from this past week, man, my kids are sick. So I'm like, stay away from me. Stay out of my room. Stay away from me. Don't come near me. But they're getting better. Junior was down for about a day, and then he's back up running and playing around now. So that's not a thing. But the one thing I've been loving about Junior is, man, it's amazing that anytime I come home or in the morning when we wake up, Junior will come. He'll grab my hand. He'll point at the TV, hand me my PlayStation controller, grab his PlayStation 4 controller, sit down on the bed and want me to sit down. Once I turn the game on and he see I'm comfortable, he'll take my arm off part of the controller, sit in my lap, and then put my hand back on the controller so I can play the game with him. And he will literally sit there and look at the game as we're playing, even though he, like back in the day we used to, I was a little brother, so it happened to me, but they would unplug the controller and make you think you were playing, but you really weren't. It's like he's doing that all over again. But he really, really believes he's playing, because they're all wireless controllers. But if I wake up or go to sleep, I barely really see me in the morning or at night. So that's the first thing you want to do, is play the game with me, hang out and play the game. And I love it. I'm loving the fact that we have something to bond over, but I'm trying to make sure that I play the game for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then get off and actually play with him and spend some real time outside of the game. Terrence was kind of the same way, but Terrence, he was already on it. After about 20 or 30 minutes of playing the game, Terrence was ready to call it a day. He did not want to sit up there and do nothing anymore. He didn't want to. He would get off the game with me. We play with toys, or make a video or something. We call it a day. We wouldn't get back on the game until maybe later that night or the next day. But Junior seems to love it, so we'll see how that works out. I remember this one. I only want to say this because we all have this idea that we're supposed to have our, what do you call it, our ducks in a row. And again, don't get me wrong. I believe we should, but I also know that reality happens and life happens. There's a quote that says, "My ducks are absolutely not in a row. I don't even know where some of them are, and I'm quite certain one is a pigeon." And I agree with that wholeheartedly because do you know how hard it is being an adult, man? Life be life. And we have to do our best to maintain a calm sense, calm statue. We got to make sure we can be professional verbally. We can still talk, communicate with people. Like being an adult is some shit that they really need to give you a manual for. Like I think that we study in school from K through 12, math, English, writing, science, all of those good things. But I'm telling you now, what was it, life studies or social studies? It was a class, but they didn't teach you much about life. And I think that is handy for us to have right now because nobody really teaches you how to deal with everything in life as it comes along. It's like we kind of see something happening and then we find a way to fix it or work through it. And we do it on and off, on and off, on and off. But there needs to be a guide. Maybe I should be the first person to create an adult guide. And it just teaches you about things in life that you got to watch out for because god damn, being an adult is so fucking tough. It is so tough. But somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to do it. One thing I do want to talk to y'all about that's kind of minor, and then is we have a new word again, and it looks like this new word now is crash out. And I'm not mad at y'all for for the word. I'm not upset, but I just don't like how we keep finding new words to label the word toxic, right? If you telling me you're gonna crash out on somebody, that just tells me you don't have the sense to calmly address the issue. Let it be known what the problem is, and then if the problem cannot be fixed, get up out of there. Y'all are finding new ways to say it's okay to be toxic. It's okay to not work on your mental. It's okay to not address people correctly. It's okay to be an asshole. Like y'all are telling people it is perfectly fine to be disrespectful across the board. That's how I feel about this. I don't care what word you use, whether it's toxic, crash out, trip, this, that, frustrated. We're adults. And the ones that are around me mainly, we're at the end of the year. Y'all are all in y'all 30s now. We should be doing better than this. Our 20s was for all of that toxic shit, all of the negativity, all of the bad vibes we say we created. Like, let it go. Our 30s are for us to strive and actually build our families, learn more, become more successful, invest more, do what we need to do to take care of us. That's what the 30s are really for. The 20s were for messing up. The 30s are for rebuilding, fixing what you fucked up. My favorite quote is making up. What did you say? Oh God, I can't remember how it goes now. And I said it was my favorite quote. That's crazy. Picking up. Oh, I think that's how I went. Cleaning up the mess from every lie I had to choose. And I say that because those lies and bullshits and dramas that we went through when we was young, it's just like that shit catches up to us sooner or later. And I've been in that mode in my 30s where I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't want to be nothing like my 20s. I want to be a lot better than my 20s. I want to be a lot smarter, make better decisions, make better moves, make better plays. I just want to be all around better and be grown, grow up from it. And part of that starts with me cleaning up the mess from every lie. I don't care if it was a white lie, if it was a lie that I told to get myself out of some trouble. I am just trying to clear them all up. I think I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't think there's nothing else to worry about. But just in case something pop up, send me the Addy and I'm going to address it. Send me the goddamn Addy and I will address it. Simple as that. Some of y'all though, man, I have faith for y'all. I just wish that y'all had faith in y'all. You know what I mean? No offense, but I just wish y'all had a little bit more faith in the fact that y'all can be better people. I know y'all can, and I don't know why y'all don't understand that y'all can. But hey, it's a different day, different world, different time. What was next for me? Oh, this is something I want to say to the general public right now, here today. So I always run across maybe a post that was in the past or something that was older years ago. But what I've done is sometimes I'll repost that, okay? And a lot of people don't know that if it's got something to do with my wife messages or anything like that, if it's old and I reposted it, I'm telling you right now, we had that conversation prior to me posting it. Like she knew it was going to be reposted. Like we talked about it, we confirmed, we made sure there were no issues, we got through it, and we actually talked about it. So a lot of y'all that be doing that, jumping in my inbox about the whole thing about, oh, you trolling her or you this and that. It's like, no, I wouldn't have. Believe it or not, I'm very respectful. You know what I mean? And lately we've been getting along great. There's been good improvement. I mean, I'm not saying that it's perfect. Nothing's perfect though, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about improvement. But I always communicate on what I'm gonna do. Y'all just don't think I do, but I do. So all of y'all be trying to, I don't know, I forgot, I think somebody tried to send it to her or let her know or something, or sent her a screenshot of it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like I think the last time when I went to London, somebody screenshotted her. I think I was on a plane. They screenshotted her the stuff like, oh, in case you didn't know, here it is. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't she know that I'm going out of the country? I mean, I am a father still, regardless of me and her situation. I got to be a father to them kids. So she got to know where I'm at for a week if I'm not going to be here with the goddamn kids. You know what I mean? But just know, man, like, y'all come at me about stuff that it doesn't bother me. Some of y'all I entertain and I go on with the conversation just to see how far you'll go on trying to justify shit or how much you're trying to defend it. But for the most part, it's all stuff that we talked about. We were okay with posting it. There have been some things that we had a conversation with and she's not okay with me posting it again. So I don't do it. But I'm not about to come out there and tell y'all that all the time. Like it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I just like a little, to be funny, seeing how she was crashing out. Ain't that the word I like to use? All right, let me stop. I got to be serious. But sometimes I think it'd be funny how mad she would get over something that wasn't my fault. You know, and that's, you know, we have conversations about it, we talk about it, but there's never been a time where she's like, no, don't post that, and I still did it anyway. So I just wanted y'all to know that, FYI. In case y'all didn't know how to mind y'all business, now you do. Now you do. My next topic, sorry, let me get into the topics now. I just wanted to cover that and get that out the way really quick. But my topics for today, actually, that I want to talk about is going to be for love over loyalty and just how pain is our greatest teacher. When it comes to, you know, love over loyalty, I try to find things that are very recent. You know what I mean? When I look up posts, I don't ever want to really give y'all information that's kind of outdated or old. And this one here is only going to take about 4 minutes for me to get through and read it. But I do want to read it to you all. I like this one because it kind of talks about loyalty, how, you know, being loyal to a fault is a fault. And I've always said, I've said it on the show plenty of times, I don't care for anyone to love me. I would require your loyalty over love. And I say that because I feel like if you love me, you can kill me because you love me. You can cross me because you love me so much. There's so many things you can do out of love that will affect me in a bad way. But loyalty is telling me that no matter what happens, you want the best for me. You want the best, my best interests at heart. That's how I look at it, okay? It says, let's face it, our culture can be incredibly superficial. We can love and adore a brand, organization, icon, superhero, ideal, author, or artist. You name it. And as soon as a bit of bad publicity comes out, they make a mistake, heaven forbid, something or someone better, newer, shinier, prettier, or more popular arrives on the scene. And shockingly enough, our loyalty shifts. The new thing is so much better. Out with the old, in with the new. This is also coming from medium.com. Just in case you needed the reference on where I got the article. It says, so let's talk about loyalty and friendships. We love the word loyalty as long as it works in our favor. We love those friends who support us no matter what decisions we make. They have got our backs no matter what. These friends are highly esteemed and favored in our culture. It's as if we are continuously broadcasting, you are welcome with me as long as you welcome my dysfunctions, bad attitude, poor decisions, and toxic traits. Is this type of thinking truly in our best interest? Is it possible that these are the same friends who cheer you on as you train wreck your life? Family, other relationships, health, relationship with God, and then rally around you and say, I'm so sorry that happened for you. Is this friendship? Do we want this kind of loyalty, really? Love, on the other hand, is when someone is brave enough to question the velocity, speed, or direction of your train, when they are willing to address your physical, mental, or spiritual health and offer to help you protect and guard it. Love steps in when they see how your behaviors are affecting the health of your loved ones and offer words of encouragement and warning, even if it's highly uncomfortable or painful for you both. The motive is genuine love. I have something to say after this article too, because it kind of made me feel like you can't have one without the other. We won't often practice courage and address someone's dangerous train because we don't want to hurt them, be seen as bad, aren't sure how to perfectly say it, or we flat out don't care. If this is the case, don't call yourself a friend. Consider yourself an acquaintance. Weighing things, situations, people, or activities as good or bad is exhausting and can lead to judgmental hearts and cowardly spirits when we view things as good and bad all the time. The better question is this loving? Is it loving to myself, God, and the people around me to engage in? Or is it loving to myself, God, and the people around me to encourage? Or the people around me to talk like, or people around me to act like? Basically, here's the thing with love. It doesn't control, demand, push, shame, or punish. It gives freedom for free will and allows natural consequences to step in and do what consequences are meant to do. Teach greater lessons, but real love is never absent. It's present when the burden is great, the pain is real, and the lessons are shaping the heart, soul, and mind of a person who is willing to learn the lessons, right? A friend who is truly loving isn't far from reach, even if they've had to separate themselves from situations, antics, or dynamics that they cannot entangle themselves in for any number of reasons. Perhaps the situation is emotionally triggering, reminding them of situations they've experienced themselves that are incredibly painful and they aren't sure how to cope. Perhaps they've watched cycles repeat themselves and every cycle brings them more despair so that they must walk away for their own health and sanity. Perhaps they have other priorities that require emotional energy and they don't have to give what your situation needs. Perhaps they are choosing to pray instead of engage. Perhaps they've simply had enough. The choices are not disloyal, or nor are they unloving. People gets to choose, just as we can choose to train wreck our lives, we can choose to step back from other people's train wrecks that affect our health on any level for any reason. We get to choose. In a culture saturated with people who struggle with loneliness, depression, shallow connections, and feeling misunderstood, we must ask ourselves if we are seeking people to be our fans, our applause, and will be loyal to us and our egos, no matter whether whether fickle winds blow us, or do we want friends, people who will graciously and lovingly speak truth, wisdom, grace, and grace into our lives. What do you want really from the people around you, and what kind of person are you and your friends? A loyal fan or a loving friend? The reason why I liked that this article made me change my mindset on thinking, I used to think, again, I'd rather take your loyalty because your love can cause danger to me. But this article will go more into depth about how maybe in order for you to have loyalty or you need loyalty and love, right? So people can be loyal to you, but if they loved you enough and was loyal to you, because I feel like, yeah, okay, you might be right now. They could be loyal and love me, but I would want that loyalty to outshine the love because I'd also want to make sure that they will call me out on my bullshit. That is love. Let me know when I'm fucking up. Don't just sit there and sugarcoat it and let me feel like I'm okay or I'm in the right regardless of the situation. I want somebody to be able to address the issues that are at hand with me productively productively, in a healthy way. Some of y'all are just sitting here and you have enablers. You don't have people that are loyal to you, people that are just enabling you to do wrong, to do bad, to not fix yourself, to not do right. And I think that's what it kind of goes over in here. Like, regardless of what you may think on people loving you or wanting to be loyal to you, if they cannot sit up here and actually show you that dedication and show you that they want to be loyal to you, then what is the point of all of that? I don't think that we should be sitting up here worried about it if their loyalty comes with restrictions. That's not loyalty. I want your loyalty to come with undying love as well as undying loyalty, right? because I want you to understand that being loyal to me means that loving me is in a healthy way. Um, I don't want you to ever feel like there's jealousy that comes with the love or there's ill intent or malice behind it because it's never on my end going to be that way. So it shouldn't be that way on yours. I'm just going to be honest. Um, some of y'all are okay with it, are cool with it, but I'm not. I just can't be. You you have to be loyal to me and love me to make sure that you want this relationship. And again, it could be a relationship with a spouse or with a friend or with an acquaintance or coworker. Whatever the relationship may be, you want it to be healthy. I want it to be healthy. I can't speak for everybody else, but I definitely want it to be healthy. Um, for most of y'all that don't really care about it, I just don't get it because to me, you being loyal to me is going to give you the biggest ROI, return on investment ever. Ever. You don't know what kind of connections I have, the kind of people I can call and talk to. People get so shocked when I call certain people and just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And like, "How do you know them?" "Oh, we built a relationship." You know what I mean? It's always about building relationships. Some of y'all don't want to do that. Y'all are scared to do it. But if you only realize that if you can give some true loyalty and true love to people, some of these relationships you have, you ain't got to talk for months, but I guarantee you, y'all have a great relationship. It'll be wonderful. It'll be fantastic. I'm just being honest with you. Um, Man, time just be flying, and I wasn't paying attention. Let me get this last article out the way. It talks about how pain is the best teacher and why. This is from Psychology Today, and of course, this is from July of this year. Again, I'm gonna go through this one. It's not too long, so it's not too much, but I'm gonna kind of just try to read all the way through, and then I'll come back and give a few notes on what I got to say about it. Um, this is also, let me see if I can get that by Jessica Schrader is the author of the article. As we go through our life journey, we accumulate countless experiences. Many of these experiences will create wonderful memories, which we will cherish for the rest of our lives. However, some of our experiences will torment us for years to come. This is because we are never immune to pain. So remember that. No matter what anybody says, you ain't immune to no pain. We all deal with that pain one way or another. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you. If you are a human being living on Earth currently or at any time in human history, you have experienced pain, probably more than you desire. For our remote ancestors, the pain was that of survival, not knowing where their next meal was coming from, and protecting themselves from predators and enemy tribes. In this day and age, our pains have evolved as our world has progressed in innovation and technology. We demand more from our world around us and those we are in relationship with. Pain comes from the stress of modern society, including staying out of debt and achieving financial stability and success. Navigating romantic, family, and friend relationships in our daily busy lives, staying healthy and avoiding chronic disease in a toxic world. The constant bombardment by marketing and advertising that tells us we need to buy a product or experience to make us better than who we are, the worsening climate crisis and how it affects our part of the world, and the never-ending stream of negative news that is always vying for our attention, which is why I stopped watching the news because all they report is the bad stuff. Our job is not to avoid the experiences that cause pain, but to live and savor every moment as if it's our last. And to me, whatever experience we are presented with, without judgment. We are not here to judge our experiences, but to dance with them and use them to learn more about who we are. This is the beauty of the unknown because it presents us with what we need in this very moment, regardless of our expectations of how our lives should unfold. Because again, our books, our stories, they can change at any given moment. You know what I mean? They're not written in stone, so that means they can always be changed and edited. All right, so this is why pain is the best teacher, if we let it be. We are never sent more than we can bear, and everything that comes our way is a blessing if we allow it to be. I do not deny that people often go through terrible traumas such as sexual and physical abuse, or the tragic loss of a loved one in the various war zones which rage around the world. These things happen, and we cannot change them once they have. So why not learn from them? How do we allow pain to be our greatest teacher? We can do this by asking ourselves a series of questions when we experience something we perceive as negative that leads to pain. Who am I in relation to this experience, right? So I'll take my brother, for example. That's my brother. When I lost my brother, that's a trauma, it's pain. What have I learned from this experience that I did not previously know? That no matter who you have, no matter who you love and how much you love them, they can be taken away from you. So cherish every moment you have with them, regardless of the time, date, emotion, the feeling. Hey, if you think you may miss them when they leave, spend as much time as you can with them. Are there any blessings in this experience? Man, the one blessing I can say is just that, I got an angel looking out for me. It's my brother looking out for me, and he's no longer dealing with the traumas and the hard, the hard problems that come with the world. So that's a blessing for me. And the last one says, how will I deal with a similar situation in the future? And I'm gonna tell everybody, man, therapy, counseling. I'm telling you, if you allow it to work and you want it to work and you go in there with the intention of it working, actually trying to make it happen, therapy is such a blessing. It's such a beautiful thing to go through. I'm telling you now. I'll say it all the time. Y'all know I dedicate myself to actually bringing that up, but I'm gonna keep talking about it. Let's see here. Also, I can give you an example of this form in my own life, which I just did, but it's a pretty article. I'm a martial artist and practice Filipino martial arts in the form of Kali. This involves, I hope I said that right. This involves empty hand techniques as well as weapons such as sticks and blades. I routinely take part in full contact stick sparing with limited protective gear, which is just a fencing helmet and hockey gloves. Last year, in one sparring match, despite protective gloves, my opponent managed to fracture my left fifth metacarpal bone, which is a bone in the hand. This injury took me out of martial arts for 6 months. Mind you, martial arts teacher, 6 months, that's your passion and it took you out. It was not only physically painful, but also emotionally painful. Not being able to engage in combat for such a long period of time. Over time, however, I learned more from this experience than from any other martial arts experience. First, the way I engage in sparring had been reckless and not strategic. I was routinely exposing myself to attack and injury by not maneuvering effectively. Second, I was reacting to my opponent's attack instead of anticipating their next move and cutting them off before they unleashed it. I learned these valuable lessons and so much more from my injury, which forged me into a more effective fighter. In the end, my metacarpal fracture was a blessing in disguise, helping me grow and evolve in Kali, which I did not realize at first, but discovered over time. So you see, life will give us what we need, including pain, to foster our higher evolution regardless of how we perceive our past and present. The only question is whether we will have the wisdom to harness that all that life has to offer, no matter how difficult it seems to face value. I love that because it's sitting up there telling us that we're going to face hardships in life. We're going to deal with pain. We're going to deal with trauma. We're going to deal with problems. But through all of it, through thick and thin, the one thing we have to do through it all is learn. Just learn. Find the positive in it all. Find what you can learn from it, how you can grow from this situation, how it can make you a better person in the future. Maybe you missed something on the back end of that happening to you, or maybe it was meant to happen in a way for a reason. Okay. But I do believe that everyone sees pain and they want to try to hide from it or block it or cover it up. But pain is not going to go away until you address it. Until you address it. It took me so many years to address the fact that my brother is really gone. Like there's nothing I can do about that. No matter how many nights I want to go to sleep about it and pray that I wake up and he's back here. No matter how much I hope and wish and I'll hold his cremated remains or ashes to me close by, wishing he just pop out of it. It doesn't matter what I hope, what I pray for, what I wish for. It doesn't matter. Because regardless of any of that, regardless of it, he's gone. And I had to accept it. Dealing with that pain and accepting that pain it was such an overwhelming time for me. And this was recent, y'all. And it's been 12 years. So this is recent. That it's just crazy to me. Now that I've accepted it, I have these outbursts randomly where it's just like, I break down more. And it's like, why? I've been doing so well. But I realized what it was. I've been hiding from that pain for so long because it was so hurtful. Just to think about it caused a little bit of pain, caused a little bit of tearing up. It was hard to deal with that. And for so long, just jumping out of the way of it, dodging it when it came by or taking a little nick here, a little knack there. That's exactly why it hit so hard when I finally accepted it. So all those outbursts I have, it's a part of me growing, still growing from losing my brother in 2012. I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset at all. Anything I go through, I try to find the positive in it. I try to find the good things. So that way I'm not so much set on the bad shit. Okay? I don't want to be set on the bad things that happen. I want to worry about the good things and the positive things that can come from it. The blessings in disguise, whatever you want to call it. That's what I want to worry about. So I just hope that we all have our own battles that we fight separately. We have our own demons we face separately. But I think if we try to find the lessons in some of the pain we go through, it'll be easier for us to move on to the next step or the next process, right? Instead of trying to hide and cover up that pain for so long. I know it's not something that can be done or fixed overnight. And I know Rome wasn't built in a day. But I do know that anything that has been done has taken time, has taken patience, has taken effort. It has taken for you to be consistent in getting it done and getting it resolved. I personally, I welcome pain. I'm going to fight it off every chance I get. So personally, I welcome it. But I do understand that sometimes pain is not the easiest thing to deal with, which is why I'll keep saying it. That's why therapy is there to help you kind of dissolve that. I don't want to say dissolve, the word I want to look for. Kind of want to help you break down that pain and find out where it comes from. So you can attack each thing separately instead of trying to fight one big thing you don't know anything about. You can attack those small issues separately. And then you can deal with it the right way. So all in all, I do believe now that you will need love in some way, shape, or form to go along with loyalty for it to even work out. Again, pain is our greatest teacher. I don't believe that it's here for anything other than teaching us valuable lessons. And stop being toxic. Stop being toxic, y'all. Like, we passed that shit. We all are adults and we're supposed to be grown. Jokes are one thing, but being toxic all the time, it's not funny. After a while, it just kind of looks sad. And you got to worry about if that person is okay. You know what I mean? Teachers on, teachers on. However, that's all I have for y'all today, or for the most part on that. I had something else small that I wanted to talk about, but I already see I don't have enough time to finish that, so I'm not even going to try. In the future, though, don't forget to hit me up on all of the social networks that you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter, which is Juss Quanni or Quanni702 or Talk is Cheap 702. Facebook is just the site, the page name, Talk is Cheap 702. Or you can reach me, Mark Quan Thomas, or Quan Facebook Joe Thomas, because they've been trying to lock me up again, y'all. They've been trying to lock me up again. I've been a good noodle. You know what I mean? I've been a really good noodle, and they still trying to lock me up. I don't like that. I don't like it, but it is what it is. All in all, though, again, I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Ooh, sorry. I will catch y'all again next Wednesday on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Until then, y'all know me. I'm going to tell y'all peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.